This episode into the Invest podcast. I'm your host, the one and only Johnny Invest. Please smack that subscribe button. Subscribe to Invest Universal. Get notified every time we drop dope, new banging content. Man, I got round two with my man. As y'all know, I launched the Invest podcast during COVID. We was in the Zoom thing. This man's account was one of the first accounts I ever followed when I joined Instagram in 2001. I wasn't a big social media guy before I launched this whole Invest thing. But you know, my son Jaden said, Dad, you want a brand, you gotta get on Instagram. So once I hopped on, man, I was just looking for accounts, and then his account popped up. I started looking at his content. I seen like his stuff seemed really authentic. It seemed really dope. He was really in line with the things that I was trying to get into, what I was trying to do. And also seen the man was like, kind of like, he was like local. And I was like, man, I gravitate. Every time I had a chance, I was watching this content. You know, I was feeding off it. You know, people will say like, oh, this person motivated me. This person inspired me. This dude really did, man. I'm glad when I got a shot to get him back on the podcast, he came through for me, man. The man is super duper busy out here. I want to welcome my man, Al Venegas, also known as Coach Al, man on a mission to the Invest podcast. Man, what's up, homeboy?
What's up, man? That's an intro. Let me give you a round of applause. Oh,
yeah, real quick, man, just tell our listeners about where you're from. I believe last time you hail out and you grew up like in the Salinas area. Am I right, man?
Shout out to the 831, man.
Okay.
Salinas, California.
Salinas.
And I always say this. I always say I'm born and raised in Salinas, California, with parents from Michoacan, Mexico.
Wow.
You know
Okay.
And just out here now in Sacramento, so this is where my address is.
Yeah.
I just don't get the opportunity to always sleep in my own bed.
You know, that's
is.
Crazy, man. That's interesting because you say your parents is from Michoacan. Actually, my wife, Gabriella, is actually from Michoacan.
You're doing it right. You're doing it right, man.
You know what I'm saying? So, I get some tacos, all that, like sometime, when I'm not in my contest prep and all that stuff like that, man. So anyway, had you on the show a while back. It's been a minute, man. Had to be probably like almost 2 years ago, man. I remember you gave me a shirt. I remember what it said. It says something like, I think it said like position is part-time and purpose is full-time.
Oh, yeah.
That was just super. I still rock that shirt to this day.
Yeah.
When I got it on at the gym, when I got it on at work, like people are like, man, that shirt is really, really dope. And they're like, hey, is that your brand? And that's my man right there. It's my guy, Coach Al, man. But how did you come up with that like slogan on the shirt? I mean, it's simple, but it's strong. It's impactful.
Man, we know them as bars, right? We know them almost like a bar is nothing but a sentence with life in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it makes you feel something.
Right.
So that one came to me, man, because I think many times we put the value on the title, we put the value on the position, and we don't understand that everything is temporary.
Right.
And I think once you get into everything is temporary, you value time more.
Okay.
And then you value that whatever position you're in, positive or negative,
right.
That is it's only a matter of time before you're onto something else. So the idea is not to put the power in the position, but more so put the power in your purpose, and the idea that you can't turn purpose off. You know what I mean? No matter how many hours you work at any job, it's temporary, right? It's 8 hours, 12 hours, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And the idea is to really live and be grounded in that. So that one, I'm a man of faith. That came to me in a conversation, a common conversation with God, and that's just I write down whatever comes to me, man. And,
okay.
And I think it's dope.
Yeah.
And we run with it.
Yeah. So what's like your background, your roots, your parents, where they like come from, because my wife's family is like this, they come from really humble, really like simple beginnings, where it's kind of like you should be grateful to have what you have. You should be grateful to have a job, which I would be grateful for that. But I heard you say things to where like it doesn't have to stop at that. So I know we had spoke on it a while ago when you were on the show, but it had to be kind of weird because even when I've said certain things to my wife, and even her being with me for a number of years, her mindset's really changed because she kind of came from cut from the same cloth as like your family and stuff like that. And she was more like, you just kind of do the things that you need to do and really don't do the extra things. And it wasn't really a lot of talk about like purpose with a lot of people. The purpose is just getting by and just having a simple thing. It's great to have those things, but I know you aspire more towards like chasing like a purpose. And I know like maybe when you first started doing this, I think we talked about it, your parents were kind of like more like kind of like what were you doing?
Yeah, man. I think to put it like in terms of this way, the way I've learned, simplicity. One, simplicity is key, and I love it. And it's the idea of doing a lot with very little.
Yeah.
And that's where we come from. It's being able to get the most out of what you got.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I just followed the same steps.
Yeah.
It just so happens that we're in different times. So like, I look at it like this. When I brought my dad over and talking to him, I said, what if I worked just as hard as you did, but in 2024 knowing 2 languages?
Right.
So I'm not doing more.
Yeah.
I'm working the same, I'm matching your effort.
Okay.
It just so happens, and it's a different time. I have a different skill set. I have a different gift.
Right.
And I'm utilizing my gifts. This is not about chasing. See, I'm not chasing a dream.
Okay.
I have this quote that I wrote down, and I say, going after my dream, I messed around and fell in love with the grind. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Going after my dream, I thought that's what I wanted,
Right.
but I fell in love with this process.
The process of the grind.
The working out, the waking up early, the writing it down, the setting it up, the organizing, the process is so beautiful. I forgot what the dream even was. I forgot all about the dream. And I just, there's gotta be a level of boundary setting.
Okay.
Sometimes you have to feel like you have to cut people off.
Okay.
Right? Because it consumes, their feelings consume your thoughts, and that can create stagnant. That can create fear. That can create doubt. We already have our own doubts.
For sure.
We don't need everybody else's doubts too. And I think ultimately, especially in this world of speaking, my dad taught me that actions speak louder than words.
Mm-hmm.
So you said authentic earlier. So the idea has always been live the words I speak. Either my words are going to be my prison, or they're going to be my pathway to liberation.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I gotta actually do the work because to honor the value of action taking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Man, it's always going to be a little shaky in the beginning, and as it should. I think it applies pressure. I think and you give each other grace. You know what I mean? You give the old folks some grace because they grew up in a different time, different belief system, and they're adapting every day too.
But you have that. What I noticed with you is like like you said, you have that hard working, came from this kind of like work ethic.
Yeah.
But you got different types of skills, like this the speaking, just different. You know 2 languages, so that helps you too. That's probably a limiting factor was for your parents, right?
Oh yeah, man. Knowing 2 languages, and again, the work is just a part of it. Yeah. Like I've never wanted something, and maybe this comes from the same beginnings, but like many times, whenever I receive a blessing from God, I'm more able to receive it because I put in the work. It's like I'm worthy once you put in the work. I almost don't want the blessing without the work. You know what I mean?
It don't feel right.
And sometimes it comes in bundles, and I'm like, oh snap, okay. Like, wait a minute, that Escalade's looking nice outside. You know what I mean? Like, did I work?
I pulled up in that big boy, my man.
Yeah. So, but the work is just a part of it, man. And when you have the work ethic, you don't clock in and you don't clock out. You know what I mean? Like you just do things because it's how you do things. It's not because you're going to get a check or you're going to get an opportunity. No, you just do things at a certain level. And that's self-pride. That's self-standard. I mean, what's your standard of work? When you hit the gym, it's not about how you feel. It's about your standard, right?
Right.
And you got to match that standard everywhere you go and everything, with whatever it is that your thing is.
For sure. Would your kind of like words be to different people that are trying to do something? Because a lot of people, we live in like an instant like gratification type of society, especially with like Instagram and
Yeah, you get instant feedback on how much you suck.
And
You do. I mean, we do, right? You put out a video, get 11 likes. Damn, it probably wasn't good.
Yeah.
Right. Well, before it take you 3 hours to shoot a video, and you don't even get the data back.
Right.
In your mind, you're still big. So that's what I'm like. Yeah. So what was the question? I'm sorry.
Like, do you think people need to fall just more appreciate and fall more in love with the process than exactly like trying to get to that goal or get to that prize like right away?
I think there's a couple of different things, and I've done some coaching on this, but people blame fear too much. Yeah. Like fear gets too much damn credit out here in the streets.
For sure.
Fear ain't that big of a deal, man. It really isn't. But like people's ego is enlarged because the more comfort you have in your life, the bigger the ego gets, right? Because the ego don't like to be cold at all, right?
Hell no.
And people I call it ego. It's not fear, but I call it ego because, like, people. I always ask, like, are you too good to fail?
Right. To try.
You're too good to mess up? Like, I don't get it. Like, because everybody thinks if I put a video out or if I do this and then it doesn't work, everyone's gonna laugh. Who's everyone? How many people you know?
Right.
You're a big shot? Are you that big of a big shot?
Right.
Like, calm down, bro. Like that's not fear. That's your ego.
Yeah.
Like, step down from whatever pedestal you think you're on.
Yeah.
You know?
Fear's big.
You just do it.
Fear's bigger than what it should be.
And it always has to start with, why are you doing it? Because if you're doing it for the likes, you're going to fall on your face instantly, right?
For sure.
Unless you want to buy, follow, I don't know what, But if you're doing it for what reason, if that why is compelling enough, then you live in that why. You live from that why, You're fueled by it.
Yeah.
And then everything else just ripples itself into place. You know what I mean? I'm not a social media guru. I don't even call myself a content creator.
Okay.
I'm actually living it. And these are just glimpses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? These ain't even the highlights. There's better shit that happened. I just didn't put it all out.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
that's a little bit different with you, man. Cause I said you're doing it like it's just authentic. You just putting like little clips and little snippets out there, but you
same thing as you, bro. You go when you hit the gym. Do you do a workout for the likes, or do you actually work out and you just so happen?
I hardly ever post the workout videos.
Right, exactly.
Really, my coach is like, man, you need to promote yourself more. You got to put more videos out there more. I do a little bit, but I'm just on the grind, just doing
and people
that.
Like it, cool. If you still got your workout in, so it's like get your workout in. Whatever your thing is, put in the reps, man. And the other thing is repetition.
Yes.
Like you need. I mean, that saying that 10,000 hours, right? A repetition. And repetition is the way to muscle. The same way you do rep 1 is the same way you do rep 100.
Yeah.
It's the same motion.
Yeah.
But you stack it. You're able to, and so that's what I would talk about is the why are you doing it matters.
That's big.
And then 2, I don't think so highly of yourself, man. You suck.
Yeah, for sure.
like we're worried that we're saying we don't. No, just go with what you do, and then what?
I first got out in the podcast, I'm like, man, I suck. I didn't know what happened. I idea what I was doing.
Yeah, but it's fun.
But it was fun though. But I started to love the whole grind. I started to love just the whole process. And then every time I started doing it, I got a little bit better. I got better and better. And then it's to the point to reviews like, bro, you need to put out some cool stuff. And I said, hey. I had to put myself out there, and I wasn't afraid of fear. They're like, hey, were you afraid to fail? Like, I thought about it.
How'd you fail, though?
But I was like, I'm doing it anyway.
And I'm going to keep doing it.
Yeah, so let's, for sure, man. So let's talk about, like, your reps, like, as a speaker, because I know that over time, man, you evolved. I know you probably started talking to small groups of people, or maybe you was talking to people at the gym, and you just started to just get better over time, like reps, because I know you wasn't, what the guy I see now, just rolling, just flowing, just killing it, man. I mean, how did you get to where you are now, man? You don't blink.
Man, that's a good question. I say this, man. If I could sing, I would never shut up. You know what I mean? Y'all lucky I can't sing. Y'all lucky I can't sing, man. Man, for me, it started in like, I'll take it back to even school. Being able to, have the whole classroom laughing. Yeah. I was like, ooh, that's a good feeling.
He's like class clown?
Like, yeah, a little bit. But I would just time. It was timing, tone, delivery.
You knew when to say certain stuff?
All day,
okay,
man.
Okay.
And my present in like where I excelled was presentations. Because I knew I was gonna add humor. And the people were gonna be so engaged, they were gonna forget what we were even talking about. We were just gonna flow.
Yeah, what's he talking about?
But as far as like technical practice, man, it started in the gym when I was teaching Sweat 3, when I had my classes going on at the gym.
Yeah.
I would do a huddle to set the tone, and then I'd do a huddle and reflection. And we would just, like, I would do that every time, and people would show up early to get the huddle message. And they would stay longer. Class is over. Whoever wants to go, whoever's got to go, go.
Yeah.
We're gonna breathe and we're gonna talk through it. 15 minutes. People would stay, and there I would share that, I'm gonna be doing training, speaking, and I would just say it.
Okay.
Did I have a clue of how it was gonna happen? No. And I also I'm not particular about the blessing. It's kind of like, what message are you looking to share, or what message is coming through you? And I remember I would also do some poetry, and it was just coming to me fast, man, faster than I could catch up to it.
Wow.
And the other piece that I would do is, I did this for about 9 months, is I would take the alphabet.
Okay.
And I would choose a word for the letter C. Choose a positive word for the letter C.
Cupid, love.
Cupid.
Yeah.
So I would take that and I would just go and record myself speaking 2-3 minutes until I ran out of things. It's like just freestyling off the alphabet.
Oh, wow.
Does that make sense? So I would take C, so it'd be Cupid. So Cupid represents love. Not only love for others, but love for yourself. Like when you're ready, and I just blah, 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 blah.
You go to the next letter, A, B, C, you do the whole thing?
Everything.
Wow. That's
Everything,
dope.
because you don't speak and think.
Yeah.
You can't be present and think at the same time.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying?
That's dope.
You could reflect in presence, but you
Right.
cannot think.
No.
You don't think once you start working out.
No.
Your mind will get in the way.
No way.
You know what I'm saying?
You might have a thought in between the set,
Yep.
but while you're at war, there's nothing but that's on my mind. I'm gonna take this war, nothing but that.
It's breathing and living.
For
You know
sure.
what I mean?
Let's talk a little bit about like the man on a mission. Like what was behind? Like you could have picked any name, Al on a mission, whatever it is. But how did you get that, man? Like I love that though. But how did you get that? But now it's not just man on a mission, it's men on a mission, people on a mission. But how did that start?
Man on a mission, I don't even remember. It's like an attitude, man. Oh, this is where it came from. Okay, so I was writing and I was thinking. I have my stories, right? My keynotes, and I have my story about when I was 9, and then I have my story about when I was 5 or 6.
Okay.
The David story, right? So I have these stories, and I remember like that time where it was the hardest for me was that 15 to 17, 18, you know what I mean? Like it's like, man, I don't want to, I want to be somewhere else right now. I want to be like at another level. How do I get there?
Yeah.
But I remember this concept. Now, when we were growing up, whether it was I DJ'd too. So when it was a house party, when it was, the girl you had a crush on, whatever it was, right? Food, getting to the game, getting to the anywhere.
Yeah.
We would say, man, we're got to pull a mission to make it. Sometimes as being young, we knew how we were going to get there, but we didn't know how we were going to get back.
Never.
You know what I mean?
So you know that story, man. So we had this little, there's like this teenage club when I was 17. It was it wasn't right down the street from my house.
Yeah.
And my mom was like, hey, I'm going to give you a ride over there, but do not call me to pick you up. So it'll be 3 of us. We knew we was going, but I tell you what, man, up until the last hour of that club, we didn't know how we was about to get back.
Now,
we didn't care all the time.
So watch it. No. You just took the name exactly, made it yours. Watch this. You said we didn't know how we were going to get back, and that didn't stop you.
No.
Right? It was so? No, so now imagine going after your dreams. Imagine going after your vision with that 17-year-old mind, that on a mission mind, that like, man, I'm about to pull up. It doesn't even, you don't even care about how you're gonna get back. It's not about safety. It's not about your feelings getting hurt. Like you're zoomed in, beeline, boom, I'm going out. So now, take that same 17-year-old mind, that like, I don't care mind, F it mind, right? I call it the F it zone, right? How many steps does it take you to get to the F it zone? We call it faith zone if you want to call it that. And we jump, right? Because you got to jump. Now, from that 15 to 17, it's all about jumping. So I'm taking that mentality and saying, start a business. How did my 17, boom. If there's a window open, I'm getting in. I don't know how I'm getting in. Like we got snuck into the movie theater, snuck into the party. So do the same thing as an adult, and you'll get there.
Damn.
Because people ain't out here like that no more. Like, you know what I mean? But like that on a mission was like, it didn't matter. Like what we got to drive 8 hours. It doesn't matter. We got to get there.
We got to get there. No matter what.
It's got to be, it doesn't matter. We'll get there. Like we pull some crazy old missions. It literally is, it's 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, holiday, no holiday. Like it doesn't matter. The idea is to get there because you have a reason. You're fueled. Mom's like, I'm not going to bring you back. I didn't ask you. It doesn't matter. Versus, I'm not going. Oh, I don't have a ride back. Oh, maybe I shouldn't go. That's how we now adults, now old people, we think about it like, well, if I don't make money, I shouldn't do it. Well, if it no, maybe I shouldn't. Well, if no one likes my video, maybe I should. Like, shut up. Like, you know what I mean? Go back to that.
I love it.
Go back to that 15, 16, 17-year-old mind and lock in. Because that younger, watch this too, that younger version of Sal pulled those missions with less money, less confidence, less experience, less resources, less relationships, no car. I mean, so what's your excuse now? You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I gotta go. I got money. Like, what do we gotta do now? Go after it. Like that 17-year-old though, with that level of hunger. Like, ooh, like you were envisioning when you got there. You already knew.
So people shouldn't forget about.
Man, you, man, your phases. You disconnect from self. You disconnect from your power. You know what I mean?
We just had a deep little run right there, man. Hey, let's talk a little bit about the whole Mindset Academy. Because I know, like, you know, when you was first starting out, man, it was just you. You was going around. You was impacting lives. I know you spoke to the military, really big, and going and speaking to the children, you know, in the communities and things like that. Maybe probably going up in certain, you know, underprivileged like areas. So sometimes not hearing certain words, sometimes they don't settle for less. And I see the word that you actually speak to them. But now I'm actually noticing, man, as you're growing, you've been putting together a team, man, and a body of work. It looks like people that really believe in your mission. I can just say it's just the last couple of years, man, it's been an honor just to sit here and real listen, just watch what you've been doing, man.
I appreciate that. So it's simplified like this. So I thought I was going to be a personal trainer. Right? So I went into it with that idea. People started showing up. And then I was like...
For the sweat stuff, right?
Yeah, for sweat.
I remember that,
So Sweat 3. So I remember looking at the shirt, because I made a shirt.
I remember that.
And I, you know, I had maybe like 60 people in this class. This is in the very beginning, maybe 2-3 weeks in. And I remember seeing the we inside of Sweat, right? It popped out, SWEAT. And I was like, okay, so Coach Al was a trainer. Sweat was the platform. As we went into schools, because I got like 1 school, then 2 schools, I couldn't call it Coach Al, and I removed my name so that it could become a platform for other trainers to train on. So to get the same experience I was getting. So boom, Coach Al is Coach Al. Coach Al and Sweat. Sweat now becomes I start hiring people to go into school. So that's where it starts. Right now we're at like about 55 people or so. So now I'm getting pulled to go do little speaking pieces. And I remember the department in California, they wanted to do a training but they didn't want to call it Sweat 3 because they were like, well, people are going to think that's fitness,
right?
And they're not going to sign up for it.
Sign up for
State
it.
workers,
Yeah,
right?
for
State
sure.
employees. Like we don't want to sign up for
that,
right? So then that's where I came out with On a Mission.
Okay.
So through On a Mission, I'm speaking. So again, I go back to Sweats Established is doing his thing. Then I move over, and I'm speaking, but I'm like, yo, there's so many people like yourself that I'm gonna be inviting you.
For sure.
My brother, people that I have around me that are great at giving a message. They're just not that person. But they can be a facilitator. They can do a workshop. So then I started Mindset Academy because the vision for Mindset Academy was instead of only me speaking, let me create a platform to where people can educate others from experience. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So then I bring those people in, and I still do the majority of it. But those people that are coming that you're seeing are actually employed by Sweat.
Okay.
And then from there, because they're active, they're activated people. They go to the gym, they take care of themselves, the people of faith. Out of there, I pull and I start training them on this aspect of it.
Okay.
And then I keep just getting out of the way.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So Mindset Academy is through On a Mission, but I can pull from these 55 people that I know. Like, let me take these 3. Ooh, they have that thing.
Yeah.
And then
because you can only be so many places at one time.
Yeah, and I only want to be.
But you don't want to be like.
I don't want to be everywhere. I want to be where I'm at.
Leverage your time.
And presence is key. So then boom, we have Sweat 3 and Mindset Academy. Mindset Academy is really all the outdoor lessons without the outdoor activities.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's like if you've ever had a coach,
right,
and he was speaking live into you, you're like, boom, let me take that, and it's a lesson in indoors.
Yeah.
You know, so we remove the athletics, we remove the fitness, but we don't remove the wellness and the aspect of mindset.
Right.
So then that we do that. With Sweat 3, the next piece is, what you're also seeing is, out of the coaches that teach fitness, our core business is mentorship. It's emotional well-being, mental health, and physical health, right? Out of the people that have been doing that for a while, they have their own passion, their own, style of fitness, right? So you might be a bodybuilder, person next to you may be a dancer.
Right.
So then we create a dance program, so then we become co-founders. Mm-hmm. And I put the money behind it, put the support behind it, and now we have a 22-year-old coach that does remix dancing.
Oh, wow.
And she just does dancing in the after-school programs. And there's income and impact. You know what I mean? Income and impact.
Yeah.
And then we have another coach who hits the gym, and she loves doing all the digital art, but she doesn't want to do it for other businesses, so she does it for me.
Okay.
Pay her for that, and now she's teaching how to do digital literacy in schools.
Dope.
We have another coach who loves fitness, loves sports, loves soccer, but is also a musician.
Oh.
We just signed. He's going to start Valley Vibrations, which is teaching students on drumming.
Oh, wow.
So boom, then we have another coach, and he's like, man, mixed martial arts is my thing.
Okay.
So we do Zen, mixed martial arts. So he's teaching Zen in schools.
Nice.
Who else do we have?
We got a roster, man.
My niece does yoga. Her style of fitness is yoga, so we did Vive, which is yoga. Boom, she's doing that. Then we do, my other niece does not like working out at all, but she's a genius with numbers.
Okay.
And we're like, okay, well, how do we help people with numbers? The stigma, the kids being afraid of math.
Yeah,
right?
math. I was afraid of math.
So we have math monsters. Mm. She goes into schools.
Oh, wow.
And she's helping students overcome the fear of math.
Math's a hard subject for a lot of people.
When I have to do my taxes, man, I'm the anxious dude. I'm not this motivational speaker. Nah, I'm cool. So it's that, man. I don't want people. I can't create I call it like a boxed set where people come in and I keep them. Mm-hmm. The idea is that it's a platform and you jump wherever you need to jump to. My mission is for people, when people are hired with me, and not by me, but with me, then my mission personally is to get those people closer to their dream.
Love it.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna live mine. I'm gonna get mine.
I love
I
that.
need you to get yours.
That's dope.
Because then it's a desired neighborhood we're living in. Then it's the world I want to live in. I want to have cool ass neighbors, man. I don't want to have people in a bad mood. I don't want average around me. I don't want average around me, bro. Like,
I love it, man. I love that whole mythology, that mindset with that, man. It's definitely something just like different, you know. Get people to work with you and empower them to eventually maybe go on and do their own thing. You're not trying to just.
you have invest, bro. So
Yeah.
you have it in your title.
Yeah.
And if you know anything about investing, and I use this model, this mental model, and I'll share it with people. You live on a block, right?
Yeah,
You live
yeah.
on a certain block.
Yeah.
How many houses are there on your block?
Maybe 20.
All right, let's call it 20, right?
Yeah.
Your neighbors. Let's say we take 3 houses, we take yours. There's something in real estate called comps, which is comparables,
Yeah,
right?
comparables, yeah.
So then if you take 20,000 and you put it into your own house,
Mhm.
your house doesn't go up 20,000.
No.
Right? It's
No.
because your neighbors are still.
Because your area.
Now-
It's all the property value and all that in
Yes.
your area.
Now if you and your neighbors
Okay.
took that 20 and you said, hey, I'm gonna put it 5 into yours, 5 into yours, and 10 into mine,
Now we all
your
go-
house goes up. Yes.
Even with less money into that one house.
So I pour into my neighbors
Yeah.
because my value goes up when my neighbors are up.
That's investing right there.
That's investing. You see what I'm saying? So I mean, what am I gonna do with all this energy, all this time, all this whatever it is?
Yeah.
If I invest it into my brother right here and he gets his dream up, if he's closer to his dream, people are gonna notice. You know, and my value goes up. Oh,
Yeah.
how'd you? Hey, you messing with? Oh, you're with Coach Al. Got it. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, hey, you go do that with your cousins and go do that with.
Yeah, spread that.
And they might not appreciate it and whatever, but selfishly I pour into people.
You know how much if other people
Like-
was looking at it like that, you know how much better off the world would be,
No,
bro?
I'm telling to my selfish people out there, like selfishly pour into
Selfish
others.
people out there.
Selfish people pour into others because your value, your home, your temple goes up in value when your neighbors ain't mid. What do we call it? Mid, basic, like.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's not, so call me selfish.
You up here, man. The neighbors is down there.
Your house ain't going up.
House ain't going
It
up.
looks nicer, but the value ain't going up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So selflessly or selfishly invest in others.
Love it, love it, love it. Before I get you out of here, really, really quickly, like the speaking, I love the speaking, but I feel like the speaking is even, to me, it's even more impactful when you're doing the speaking when the kids are sprouted up, when they're young, versus like you can reach the adults too.
Mhm.
But I feel when you're able to get to them really, 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 really young, I believe it can hit a little bit different. Because sometimes when we're a little older, we can be changed, but sometimes we're a little bit more set in our mindset, set in our ways. So I love it, the fact you go out there and you speak to the kids, you speak to the children because they really need that. And I believe that you're going to impact and change the trajectory of a lot of these young women and young men's lives.
I
man.
appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, no, I go into any room where I get invited into.
For
You
sure.
know what I'm saying? And I always remember that. It doesn't matter if it's
Go in
kids.
any
or-
room.
because I can't get in rooms just because I want to.
Yeah.
There's laws out here. You know what I'm saying?
I've had to learn that.
You can't just get in. No?
Can't
Like,
just get in.
that's
man.
not how it works. There's
Can't just
laws.
get in.
There's locks.
Yeah.
You know, like it's not cool. So you need to be invited in. Which my audience, whoever my audience is, I always remember. That's why I don't like humility. I don't even have to think about because without my audience, my dream doesn't come true.
Yeah.
You know, they're the other half. I need an audience. That's need ears. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, whether it's kids or with the older crowd, what I like is the challenge.
Yeah,
and I
it's
speak
harder.
in
It's
question.
harder. Yeah,
I
it's
speak
harder.
in questions.
Okay.
So I allow people to tell me their perspective. You know, versus telling people. Like I ask more. I can do 45 minutes of just asking questions.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's you know it's powerful. And when you say when we get those kids young, I mean it's their level of energy is something else.
Yeah.
You know, their
for
level
sure.
of energy is something else.
For
But
sure.
I'll take any time, any opportunity, man.
For sure, man.
Yes, sir.
I definitely love that, man. Again, I love what you're doing. I'm so much appreciative to get you back onto the Invest podcast. Before I get you out of here, man, shout out your social media outlets, shout out your podcast so my listeners can like and follow and check out your content, man. You got to check my man out.
What do we have? We have Man on a Mission. The O's are zeros. Man on a Mission, O's or Zeros. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. It's Coach Al's Huddle. Coach Al's Huddle. We just hit our we're like at, I don't know, we're a couple subscribers, 600 subscribers from getting 2,000. For sure. So we're pushing that subscriber. And I think that's it, man. Threads or something? I don't know. I think that's it.
Glamorous Grind, right?
Glamorous Grind podcast.
Glamorous Grind, baby.
That's it. And that's all about, man, that's all about shining the light on the process.
For sure. I love that.
The humor.
The process, man. That's the process, y'all.
Man, people smile on the airplane, like all that, bro. You know?
All that little stuff, man.
It's traveling, man. Traveling sounds glamorous.
Yeah, for sure,
that's
man.
It's a sport.
For sure. Like I said, I appreciate you making time for me. You got to take the head out of town right now, man. It's your boy, Johnny Invest. Again, smack that subscribe button. It's another edition Into the Invest podcast. We out.
Peace.